Miami Dolphins had a rookie quarterback start for them this past Sunday, Quinn Ewers, the first game after they made the move to bench Tagovailoa. And I think it would be a great opportunity for us to go through some of his film, look at some takeaways, and why I do not believe he should be blamed for the blowout loss against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think we'll come to a conclusion by the end of the show, and hopefully you stick around through the entire thing. But it was a lot to do with some unfortunate play calls, unfortunate bounces, and then the defense just kind of getting absolutely ran through in that second half. But I do want to jump right into some of the film, and we're going to start with play number 1. And this was the first drive of the game for Miami. After forcing a punt, it was 3rd and long. Quinn Ewers, back to Bass. Now, what happened on this play, he ended up rolling out, making something happen, getting hit as he threw, and found Darren Waller for a 22-yard completion. It was a 50-50 ball that Waller just went up and won. But I do think this was a play that Quinn Ewers would want back. Why? Think about it. It's 3rd and 7, right? We got to get to the 25-yard line. That is our first down marker. And look at D. Eskridge here at the bottom of your screen, guard by number 20. He is breaking in, and that's exactly where Quinn Eyes goes. This is his first read. This ball needs to be ripped right here. I think this is a misplay by Quinn Ewers. Now, he ultimately makes something happen and lobs it up to Darren Waller for a first down, but if you want to look at positives, negatives, give out grades, this is a negative play for me because the first thing that should have been done, you've got a good arm, Quinn. Rip this right in between that bottom corner at the 20 and that linebacker right there. There's a gap right in between them. If he throws a bullet, Eskridge, little inbreaker, catches it, gets upfield for a first down. Like I said, he didn't pull the trigger, held onto the ball, and extend the play to get it to Waller, but it should have never came to that really good extended 50-50 catch by Waller. That ball's got to be ripped to D. Eskridge on the inbreaker to get a quick little completion and first down. It's only 3rd and 7. Very easy, reasonable play, and with his arm strength, should have been made because there's no way that linebacker is getting to the ball if he zips it in between the hashes and the 20-yard line there. If you want more film breakdowns on the Miami Dolphins, hit that sub button because even when we're going to the offseason, there's going to be a lot of evaluation on players on the roster now and potential trade targets and free agent signings. If you want film on specific players going forward, you got to show me this is what type of content you like by subscribing on today's show. All right, play number 2 we're going to look at here. This is a 14-yard pass to Jalen Waddle, and this was one of Quinn's best of the day, in my opinion. I gave this one a flat-out 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 because first quarter, 3:50 to go, and look what happens here. You can start to see it. Quinn is about to start the release point, and look at where Jalen Waddle is, the wide receiver in the bottom of your screen. This is a 14-yard first down. Look at the depth between the safety and the corner underneath. Only about 7-8 yards, and Waddle gets a couple yards upfield to the 40 and then breaks inside on a little post, and Ewers from his own 28 rips it about 14, 15 yards right in between the safety and right in between the cornerback to find Waddle for a first down. I thought this was really impressive. He hit his back foot, recognized what he had. He had really nothing on the left side, really nothing over the middle of the field with the linebackers and Malik Washington, and knew the only place he could go to before getting back to his check down Achane at the top of your screen was Waddle, and he fitted in there. That is his arm talent on display, man. That is something he is capable of doing that some quarterbacks in the NFL just aren't able to do. Like, I'm not even saying this is a Tua thing, but like you look at some other quarterbacks like Mac Jones, who, yeah, I've argued that he could be a solid bridge starter for Miami, but he's not making that throw. You have to have velocity and zip on that ball to fit it in between those two defenders in that zone window. Ewers was able to do it. It's why there's some promise here on the young quarterback out of Texas. All right, moving on to play number 3 here, early second quarter. And if you were with us live, I talked about this play because it was a bad play. Under center, 7-step drop, and I give him credit. He gets to the top of his drop, hits that back foot, And he really just releases it right away. There is no hesitation. He hits that back foot, knows what he has, and he's decisive with it, which is a good thing. And it is the right play. But there was miscommunication here, or it was just a wildly inaccurate throw because you have one-on-one with Jalen Waddle at the top of your screen there with the cornerback. But what happens here is Waddle breaks off the route like it is a comeback or an out route at the 32-yard line. And you see Quinn here on our screen grab. He's already releasing it with Waddle at the 28. And the reason why I think it's a miscommunication or a wildly inaccurate throw is because if he's throwing this to Waddle at the 32, which is where Waddle broke it off, this is a perfect time to throw it. Because as he's releasing it, Waddle's going to get a couple more yards upfield, turn around, ball's going to be on him. But where does this ball end up? This ball ends up at the 40-yard line. 10 yards past where Waddle is right now, which makes me think he thought Waddle was going to run a streak. But then if you also think about this, is by the time Ewers throws this ball, and if he does throw it to the 40, is Waddle going to be at the 40 with his speed at that time? I don't think so. I think he'd be closer to the 45-50. So this is either a wildly inaccurate ball or a miscommunication. Not a good play here, but luckily the ball did not go into harm's way. Play number 4, just a couple minutes later here, not even a full minute, is a check down pass. But this is why I want to make a point about how not everything is on Ewers on this offense. This is a Mike McDaniel issue. This was a play action where Waddle comes around the formation almost like an orbit screen. Fakes it to him, drops back, but look at what are we doing here? We've got Achane bottom of your screen right here, guarded by 2 guys. And then you have Waller over the middle of the field, surrounded by 4 players, 2 linebackers, 2 safeties. So the only option he has at this point is checking it down to Waddle, which he did. And if Julian Hill picks up that block of that defender at the top of the screen there, Waddle might break it for 6-7 yards. Who knows? Maybe makes another tackle and is off to the races. But Julian Hill misses on that block, and it's a 1-yard gain. But I just think the route combination that they were having here, like what was the goal on this play? Was it always a rope-a-dope to try to get it back to Waddle with a blocker in front of him? Was it to get Darren Waller open on a seam route? Either way, Cincinnati's defense was well prepared for it, and it was a play that don't think we should run again because it was absolutely bad. More plays and film to get to here, but before we do, grade Quinn Ewers' first start. 20 of 30 passing, 260 yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, and a QB rating of 66. Pin comment on today's show, A, B, C, D, or F. Play 5. This one is one of my favorites. Can't say it's my actual favorite, but this is a good one. Long developing play action here. Takes the play action, gets about a 8-yard drop back to where he's like jogging backwards, hits that back foot, and it's a play caller's dream. You're only running about a 2-man route combination. Now, you do have a check down here, which helps hold the linebackers for a brief second, but this play was always decided either to go back to Waddle on the corner route, or if they doubled Waddle on the corner, to hit Dulcich at the top of your screen all the way to the left there on a one-on-one vertical route. Well, the safety gets deep to defend the vert, which allows Waddle one-on-one on the out route. He hits his back foot and fires across the field for a 25-yard, 30-yard in-the-air pass to get 17 yards to Waddle. Waddle with a great route, beats his man in man-to-man coverage, and was wide open. Didn't really have to be a special throw. Waddle was able to just catch it, come down with it, and then he ultimately fumbled on the play, and shout out Alec Ingold for hustling down there to be right in the right spot when Waddle fumbled that for them to ultimately recover it. But that is a good play there by Quinn Ewers. A lot of quarterbacks can make that play, but the velocity, the timing, all good. I give that ball a grade of a 7.1 out of 10, if you will. All right, let's move on to the second half now, where things got very, very ugly. We start with 9:36. I think this is one of the more dangerous throws that Ewers made in this game, but also a very fascinating concept as well. So you ran a flat and a swing for Devon Achane, double slants with Dulcich and Waddle, and then at the bottom of your screen here, you have about Darren Waller on a hitch or an out route. Obviously, the first read on this play is to the right side of the field because you have 3 routes coming that way. So do you hit the slant on the inside, slant on the outside, or check it down the H-jam? Well, it's a relatively fine pocket at first if you're getting out of your hands quickly. But here's the thing. Greg Dulcich is not open. H-jam, not open. And Waddle here, even though there is room in front of his defender at about an 8-yard gap, he breaks in. How are you going to get it to him with that underneath linebacker defending Dulcich and Waddle almost at the same time? So what I would like to see here, and I know this is high-level quarterback play that I'm expecting, but this is the growth that we need to see out of Ewers if he wants to be a starter. Jonah Savionaya gets absolutely beat to the inside on this. Just a disgusting pass block rep by Jonah. Shocker. But if Ewers is able to recognize this, make a nice little adjustment in the pocket to his left, well, now that resets his feet, he's able to square up, and either he can hit Dulcich still on a slant, he can hit Waddle with a more accurate throwing window, or he could find Darren Waller at the bottom of your screen, who was wide open at the end of this play. This was a forced one where he put it in the harm's way, a turnover-worthy play in my opinion, because it was almost intercepted by that linebacker defending Dulcich because he tried to float it over the top of him. Just not a good play there by Quinn Ewers. But now we get into the meats and potatoes here. This was Quinn Ewers' first interception just a couple plays later in the third quarter, trailing 24-14. This is not a turnover-worthy play to me. Because remember what happened. It was 3rd and long. And you have a really good route combination here. It's a clear-out route. This is exactly what you want to see. You have a bottom screen vert to take out that deep third safety, and you get cover 3. This is a cover 3 beater because you have the vert in the slot, Malik Washington. Look at him go. And you start to see that deep middle safety turn his hips, which means he's taking the vert, which should open up Theo Weiss Jr., top of your screen, starting to break in here to the middle of the field, in between the hashes, where that deep middle third safety isn't able to get there. And Ewers is already letting it rip. He sees it. He's got it. There's that depth in between the linebacker and safety, with that safety going with Malik Washington to where the crosser should be open, big-time throw, big-time first down. And it was a perfect, on-time, perfectly accurate thrown ball. The issue is Theo Weiss Jr. gets beat at the catch point. The ball gets tipped up in the air by that deep corner or safety, or that deep corner who's at the Bengals sideline on this screenshot, and he just read the play. He jumps inside. He doesn't even care about Malik Washington, and he breaks up the play at the catch point, pops up in the air, and it's intercepted. That's not a turnover-worthy play. That is a well-read ball. That's where it should be going. It was thrown on time with velocity and accuracy. This is an interception that should not be credited to Quinn Ewers. It just should not be. And Mike McDaniel agreed as well in the press conference on Monday. Now, you could also say, what about how crazy would it have been if he ripped that vertical shot? Because it would have been there. Because that corner bit on the in route, even though he shouldn't have been, if he caught that corner biting in and pump faked and then let that thing fly 50 yards downfield, he would have had Malik Washington. But once again, that is very unexpected of a rookie quarterback. More to get here in a second, but make sure you download Prize Picks today. It is the holiday season, which means your favorite holiday promotion from Prize Picks is back, Picksmas. Prize Picks giving out 7 days of deals all the way through Christmas Day, including a Christmas Day max discount. Prize Picks starts December 20th, so download the app today and unwrap those deals. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections, and if you cash in, you could have a pretty nice Christmas, if you ask me. There's some Christmas football. I'm going more than Dak Prescott passing yards, more than Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdowns, and then I'm going to go R.J. Harvey, 2 touchdowns. I think he gets in the end zone twice against those Kansas City Chiefs. Your fantasy football season might be over, but you can still get in on the action every single week with Prize Picks. Download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, we're going to move over to play number 8 here. This one coming in the fourth quarter. We have a little bit of a gap before a play I want to break down. I truly do believe this was the best play of the day from Quinn Ewers. And the next play we're going to talk about is a close number 2. But this was the best one to me because here at 6:38, play action again. They loved running play action. We'll talk about that here in a second. But he hits the back of his drop, and he sees everything he wants to see. He has one-on-one, no help in this side of the field. You got a deep safety over the middle, but you have no one over here to help this corner on Waddle. And look, he's already bringing the ball back. He's already started that release after he hit his drop back, hit that plant foot, and now he's starting to rip the ball. And look at where he's starting to throw it and where Waddle is on his route. He's not even out of his break yet. And because he knew Waddle had the leverage to the outside, the speed advantage and one-on-one, he knew easy pickings right here. And he throws it perfectly on time, right to the 45-yard line, Waddle with the catch, and it's a 17-yard gain. It was truly one of the best anticipatory throws that Ewers made today. It was accurate. It was a great throw. It's a great read. That is the type of stuff that makes you feel like there's something to build on with Ewers from his first start. You want another one? This one's absolutely ridiculous. I think if you're talking just good quarterback play, the last one was the number 1. If you want the most, wow, this is some elite play, this is some legit potential, this is your play. I know it's garbage time. I know it's in a minute 20 in a 20-point game. But you see, I know it's going to be hard. I'm going to need you to pause and zoom in. I'm going to give you time to do so. All right, you paused and zoomed in now. All right, he looks at Darren Waller in the hedge. Look at that linebacker right here. Look at the linebacker. You see him. He's looking. His weight is going to Waller because that's where Ewers' eyes are. He's throwing the ball. So the linebacker's like, oh, my God, he's throwing it? I see where he's looking. This is going to be an easy break on at pick 6. I'm going to be on SportsCenter tomorrow. You know where this ball went? Right here. Theo Weiss on an in-breaking post. He looked at Waller and went a little Matt Stafford over the middle of the field. Now, would I suggest doing that a lot? No, that is extreme confidence. We're losing by 25. This play really doesn't matter type of football. But it shows you some cockiness and confidence from the young man, and he's able to make this play. That is high-level quarterbacking, maneuvering that linebacker with his eyes, letting the in-breaker come right behind him, and throwing a dart for 18 yards. This was a highly impressive throw. Not my favorite because I like that simple out route, hit your back foot, throw it on time with accuracy, but that is a really good play. No more film to break down, but I did want to talk some more things here. You look at Quinn Ewers' grades. Like I said at the top, I graded every single throw he made in this game outside of screens because other than that, it was pretty simple, like bubble screens, quick throws to the Waddle or HN. I had him, as I graded out all my plays, at a 62.1. I'm not claiming that he was elite, but that's how I graded him. PFF, very similar to me, 59.2. So I think that there is a consensus. Well, I can't say consensus because it's just me and PFF objectively choosing it, but similar thoughts, at least, from me and PFF on how Quinn Ewers fared in his debut. And this is not us saying he's good, not saying he's bad, just kind of analyzing who he is as a 7th-round rookie in his first ever start and just taking what the coaching staff gave him and what the defense gave him and seeing what he can do from it. And I also think that Miami did help him out in some degree. I don't think it was a lot of help, but they made a strong effort to get him in play action. And when he was in play action, he absolutely thrived. The difference between Quinn Ewers when he was in play action to just a straight drop back in his throwing was absolutely crazy. Look at it. When he's in play action, which was 41.9% of dropbacks, that's an abnormally high number for a game script. I mean, almost 50% is kind of crazy. But look at how successful he was. 174 yards, 12 of 13 throwing the ball, 118 quarterback rating. It became a little hairy when he was forced to just straight drop back, read a defense, make a read. But when the defense was being moved around by the fake handoff or people in motion, it allowed more throwing lanes for Quinn Ewers and allowed him to get into a rhythm. When he straight dropped back, it became a little bit difficult. In entering Monday Night Football, Ewers actually has the highest completion percentage over expected by 23.6%, and he has the highest EPA total at 10.1 on play action passes. very clear that Ewers' strength is play action, hit the back foot, find your throwing lanes, find your guys, and make it happen. That is how he can have success. But it all starts with setting the tone, running the football as well, something Miami didn't do extremely well against the Bengals on Sunday. And I actually do want to give a quick little side note in appreciation to the offensive line. It was actually only a 19.4% pressure rate on Quinn Ewers in this game. That is third best in the NFL. The only two quarterbacks that faced less pressure than Quinn Ewers this week, Tyler Shuck against the Jets and Jalen Hurts against the Commanders. So the offensive line and pass protection actually did a relatively good job. I can't guarantee the same low pressure rate for Quinn Ewers in this upcoming game against the Buccaneers as he had it against the Bengals. But nonetheless, it's a good base point. Not claiming him to be a starter in the NFL, not claiming anything. I do think he could be a solid backup in the NFL at bare minimum because of his talent and what we saw on Sunday. But I hope to see another good performance from him, or maybe not another good performance, but a good performance from him on Sunday against the Buccaneers. Because if that's the case, I'll feel a lot better about how he could fare in the NFL as a QB1. Yeah, I'll do it for this episode of Dolphins Today. I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at his film. I know it's a little bit of a longer video, but appreciate everybody for hanging out and watching. We'll have a video out tomorrow, as we always do. So subscribe and see you there.